Yo, 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 what's up?
What it is?
Today we're talking about one of the greatest games of all time. It's fly, it's hip, it's cool, it's neato, it's tubular, it's...
Princess Tea Party.
It's Toejam and Earl on the SEGA Genesis. Toejam and Earl was created in 1991, published by SEGA for the SEGA Genesis. The game centers around two alien rappers, Toejam and Earl, who have crash-landed on Earth. And in order to defeat the game, you must wander through Earth, finding pieces of their spaceship and putting it back together. Now, Earth is represented by these floating islands. The islands are connected by flying elevators, and the levels are protected by little demons, giant hamsters in hamster balls, and hula girls. Doesn't make much sense, but it's not trying to. It's just trying to be fun. Now, it does include a split-screen co-op mode, so you and a buddy can play at the same time. And one of the other neat features of this game is the randomly generated levels. In the early 80s, a game hit DOS and Unix called Rogue, and Rogue had the idea of randomly generated dungeons. Basically, as you would wander through the game and open up a new level, the new room would just be generated on the fly, so every playthrough was 100% original. And that's the idea that actually spawned Toejam and Earl. They wanted to create a game where the levels were different every single time, randomly generated. And although there was a bunch of skepticism from inside SEGA on whether or not it could be done, they figured it out. Now, while the game was a critical success at the time, people loving the characters, the music, all the good technological stuff going on behind the scenes, it wasn't really a commercial success. It did well enough that they did a follow-up, Toejam and Earl Panic on Funkotron, but it didn't do very well either, and so it wasn't until the Xbox rolled around that they finally put out Toejam and Earl 3. The game is weird, it's a little funky, but it's definitely something worth checking out as you journey through the history of video games. I'm gonna let you in on a secret about Toejam and Earl. I hated this game when I was little. Because the whole idea of randomly generated levels was kind of beyond my understanding. So I was always just like, this game makes no sense! The hell is... Like, I just played this yesterday, and the piece I needed was right over here, and now I go there and it's not there anymore.
So you were one of those kids that, like, memorized the...
Yep, maps. Oh, okay. Yep. That was the NES staple, was to memorize the layout and the maps. And so then you come in, you're playing this game on Genesis, and it doesn't make any sense.
I liked that about this game because then I could play it over and over and over and it didn't feel like the same game. Although this game was just a big game of dodgeball. You just run away from everything.
That is true. There's absolutely no reason to fight any of the enemies. All you can really do is if you get the slingshot, you can slingshot tomatoes at them. You hit them a couple times and they pop. But your slingshot animation is like... And then you let go. So by the time you've gone through all that to let go of it, they've moved. Like, it's the most difficult thing to try to hit any of those. But, I mean, you had the little, like, pink devils with the pitchforks. You got hamsters and the hamster wheels. You got all sorts of random just...
And the bikini hula girls.
The hula girls. You can come in and interact with them, do a little hula with them. That's a good time, right?
And then you do the Bill and Ted... elevator,
right?
Yeah.
Get in the elevator, go up to the next level. And sometimes if you fall off the edge, you fall down to the level beneath you. Power-ups were weird. You can get sneakers that make you run really fast. You can get the little ducky tubes so you can go in the water and float through the water and get stuff.
The pogo stick.
Pogo stick so you can jump over stuff.
But there was really, like... I still don't understand what you're supposed to do.
Okay, so their spaceship crashed on Earth, right?
Okay. And
you're trying to find the pieces of their spaceship so that you can rebuild it and then fly back off into space.
Oh.
So it's like E.T., the video game on the Atari 2600, except they are super cool, hip, rapping guy. Like, I guess I should have done this when we started the...
So they're... Wait, they're on Earth?
Well, yes, technically. They're on Earth, and Earth is represented by...
being in middle space?
Levels that go... Well, because the first level's in the water, like you're in the ocean. But then you go up, and then the next level's floating in the air. And
that's where they lost me.
Yeah, well, it's... I mean, that's how Earth is. How do you not know that's how Earth is?
Okay. Well, I never went up. I never took the elevator up. I don't know.
You never took the. You just stayed on that first
I
level.
Stayed on the
It's
first
just like
level.
one tiny little
I'm
island.
Still on the first level. Yeah.
Now the big like feature beyond the randomly generated levels is the 2-player co-op. And that's a big deal, is that you could do 2 players at the same time. And if you're together, then you're both playing on the same screen. If you split, then suddenly a line comes in between, and you guys can go off in different directions, look different ways at different things. And that was always a cool thing. Whenever you could do split-screen co-op in a game, especially back in those days, that was a big deal.
And because of that, we have Call of Duty. You're welcome.
Well, I don't think this was the first game to do co-op.
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay. All right.
Split screen.
Sure. That's a verified fact.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You can find it on Wikipedia.
You're welcome.
So who's your favorite, Toejam or Earl? Toejam, the 3-legged alien, or Earl, the big blob?
Probably Toejam.
Really?
Yeah.
I look like Earl, so I kind of feel like I have to, That's how it goes. All right, so scale of 1 to 5. When you look at a game like Toejam and Earl with its funky slap bass, intro. What do you think? Scale of 1 to 5.
Oh, this one's hard to judge.
Uh-oh.
This one's really hard to judge.
Oh, I feel this one's going to be pretty bad.
No, because I don't know. It's like in the middle of rows. I give it 3.
Actually, I was going to say 3 as well. I think the randomly generated levels is a nice effect. Like, it is a neat idea, but it just doesn't carry over that well. I mean, it's so limited in what the levels can be anyway. Right.
And it gets really old really
and
fast.
It's very repetitive,
Mm-hmm.
and it just and it's slow. I mean, one of the big things I really had forgotten about the game, and I didn't really think about it until I started playing it again. But it's really slow. Like when your guy's moving, he's really just kind of lumbering along at his own sweet little pace, which is good for him. But for me, it's just like all I want to do is go to that side of the screen. Why is it taking me 30 seconds?
And
to
the
get
elevator rides up take forever
to load the levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, that takes forever. Well, because it's generating the.
So you sit there and you just jam out to the music.
Dun, dun,
So I had a couple good things going for it, but overall it got boring.
Right. So again, 3 out of 5. They're definitely better games, but there's a ton worse games. If you're into retro gaming, you're really looking for something on the Genesis, it's not a bad game to pick up. And the fact that it is randomly generated levels means you can play it over and over and over and over and over again if you want to, and you're never going to have the same game experience twice.
But I doubt you will.
Play it over? Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. All right, guys, don't forget, you can come to PopCultureNetwork.com, check out all the rest of the great stuff we have over comic books, video games, toys. We got great toy reviews, podcasts. We got comic book videos. We got all sorts of great stuff. Preview of Batman Zero just went up last night. If you want to check that out. Also, don't forget, you can come to ShopPCN.com, where you can buy a plethora of video games, from retro stuff like Sega Genesis games to great PlayStation 3. Random PlayStation 3 game, greatest game of all time is NBA 2K8. All right,
yeah, you look like one of those guys. You look like one of them.
I'm big into hoops. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.